Hi, I'm Scully, and today I wanted to look at everything that's coming in our first ever patch for Dissidia Duellum. We got lots of interesting stuff to cover today, including patch notes, balance updates, 20 free pulls, a look at the new banners, and 2 entirely new characters. To begin with, the devs are giving us 3,000 Mogpay, which translates to 20 pulls, perfect to use on the new banners. Speaking of, with the launch of patch 1.1, we are getting Onion Knight from Final Fantasy III and Iroha from Final Fantasy XI. Onion Knight is an agile character who runs from crystal to crystal, stacking his passive as rapidly as possible in order to unlock his true potential. Iroha is a melee unit who is all about chaining her abilities to proc massive bonus damage. Both of these characters will be available to pull for, and their abilities will be featured on a new banner that increases their drop rate. This banner has a new pity system that will guarantee at least one of their new skills each time you reach 88 draws. The featured skills also have a higher chance to drop when an ultra rare is hit. There is also a new character draw banner that also sports an enhanced draw chance for the new characters. I managed to get both Onion Knight and Iroha in 7 pulls, but your mileage may vary. Remember, you can spend 5 tickets to buy the character outright, no pulling necessary. Before we get into the new characters, let's cover the balance changes coming to Zidane and Prompto. Zidane is finally getting some love and has received a whopping 0.05 increase to his damage. Okay, yippee, I guess that'll let him clear monsters faster, but that's not exactly the buff Zidane mains were hoping for. Meanwhile, Prompto is rightfully getting a hit to his... Wait, he's getting a buff? Alright, well, damn. Yeah, he's getting a buff to his defense and HP multipliers, making him overall harder to kill. Now let's take a look at the new Ghost in a little more detail. Let's start with Iroha. As a melee unit, she boasts above average attack, defense, and speed, but is lacking on HP. Her hold lets her do a charge forward into an attack similar to Cloud, but without the knockup properties. Her passive increases her attack while using consecutive abilities up to 4 times. What this means is that she excels at situations where she can freely burst the boss with all her abilities, with each subsequent one doing more and more damage. Speaking of abilities, her rare skill is a forward charge on an 18-second cooldown. This lands, it does low damage, but it knocks enemies into the air. Her super rare skill is a long-range beam that hits for medium damage and sends her leaping backwards on a 24-second cooldown. Her ultra rare Fuga creates a large AoE on the ground that stays for 10 seconds, deals damage, lowers enemy defense by 100%, and their move speed by 20% as long as they are inside the AoE. This ability has a cooldown of 45 seconds. Finally, we have Gachirin, her ultra rare that ties her entire kit together. On an 80-second cooldown, this ability warps her forward and attacks foes in a large area for high damage. If 3 or more abilities have been used consecutively, it does an extra high damage attack. The average burst rotation for Iroha on bosses will be Fuga for the initial damage and debuffs, Hanadoki, Chon, and finally Gachirin. This will fully stack her passive for Gachirin as well as trigger the skill's extra burst of damage. Overall, she seems like a very effective unit, and I imagine she'll do well in Cloud and Cryle teams. On to Onion Knight. This character seems tailor-made for lightning mains who love running around the map clearing crystals. Onion Knight is an agile character with terrible below average stats in attack, defense, and HP. His speed is okay though. Don't let that fool you. Though, it's all in service of his unique growth mechanic. His passive doubles his experience gain and increases his attack and defense when he reaches level 9. Couple that with his dash knock-up hold ability, and you have a unit whose main job is to run from crystal to crystal, stacking up HP and bravery like a madman. His abilities also lean into this fantasy. His rare ability is a long-range attack that does low damage on a 20-second cooldown, perfect for dealing damage to enemies as you run from crystal to crystal. His super rare ability, Blade Torrent, is a leap forward that draws enemies in, then launches them into the air on a 36-second cooldown for medium damage. This ability seems useful for clearing camps as fast as possible. Almost like Cloud's finishing touch, but with a built-in dash. His first ultra rare, Ninjutsu, has a 60-second cooldown and attacks foes in front of him for high damage and gains an additional high damage attack at level 9. Similarly, his second ultra rare Spellbook also has a 60-second cooldown and additional effects at level 9. To begin with, this launches foes into the air in a wide area for medium damage that is followed up with high damage attack at a level 9. His skills have relatively low cooldowns, which implies he is a character that will pee all over the place. I believe that his ideal playstyle will be clearing crystals with his rapid attacks and ultra rare, then dumping bravery on the boss with his short cooldown ultra rares. At level 9, he can start being a real menace, pressuring the enemy team with his enhanced attacks and abilities. Overall, these two characters seem to be really fun, and if they match your preferred playstyle, then I can see them easily becoming someone's main. At a glance, they don't seem to be objectively better than any of the current roster, which gives me hope for the future units being relatively balanced and focused on what makes them unique from the rest of the cast. That covers it for this patch. I'm really happy with this game so far, and I'm looking forward to covering the new characters as they come out. As for the channel, I'm currently working on some more guides. Lightning is next, as she's my main and who I used to climb to the top 100. What do you think of this new patch? Will you be pulling Onion Knight or Iroha? I'm pretty sure I've said her name like 7 different ways in this one video. I'm doing my best to save for Clive, but Onion Knight seems so fun. I need to stay strong, guys. Wish me luck. I don't want to spend too much of my currency on these guys when Clive is just around the corner at the end of this month. If you have been liking my coverage of this game, please like and subscribe, as I will be covering Final Fantasy on this channel for the foreseeable future. Also, feel free to check out my Twitch. We are currently playing Final Fantasy Tactics for the very first time. I've been Skully Sinful, your big bro, and I'll be seeing you again real soon. Goodbye!